3 up, 2 across. Tap that play button 3 times and walk through the archway into Dialogue Alley. Hello, everyone. This is like kind of a chill Dialogue Alley episode. It's not our usual intro, not our usual stuff, because we're doing a off the beaten path podcast episode. For those of you who are new, we are a Harry Potter book translation podcast, but we talk about all things magical here on Dialogue Alley. We are the official Potter Collector podcast, and today we have Peter with us to talk about some epic content.
Super epic Universal Orlando Resort content.
Yeah, Peter, you just got back. How tired are you?
I am so tired. Like so tired. So, I mean, just a quick little rundown. Got there whatever day I got there. And
that's not off to a good start.
Don't even.
By the way,
this is not going to be a good episode, guys. No.
By the way, I'm Erik and I'm here too.
Oh hey,
I'm on.
Oh yeah,
I'm on.
Hey bud.
Yeah. So I shot a video the day I got there. It was a media preview of the new Helios Grand Hotel, which is spectacular. And it's right on the border of the Epic Universe theme park. So it's basically in Epic Universe, and it has its own separate entry and security. So literally you crawl out of bed, get some breakfast, maybe get a coffee, go through the security that's just off of the lobby, and you're inside of Epic Universe. Like, such a cool concept to have a hotel within basically the theme park. The rooms, they're park view rooms that just face the theme park, so you can literally just sit in a chair in your room and just watch the theme park and the roller coasters, and it's an amazing hotel. I'm actually going to be staying, so I'm going back to Epic Universe next weekend. Because they just announced pass holder previews. So you can get some discounted tickets if you're a pass holder. And I'm staying at the Helios, and I cannot wait to stay there.
Did you stay there on the first
No.
trip? No,
No,
they just give you like a tour.
Yeah, just a quick tour. I stayed at the Stella Nova. So the Stella Nova and the Terra Luna, those are the two new, more budget-friendly hotels, sister hotels that are super nice, really nice pools, great food, like really good food. Kind of more of a quick service-ish. You go up to a counter and then you go and pick up your food. But it was really, really delicious. Yeah, so stayed there and can't wait to go back. But back to my crazy story. I wanted to get a video out of that day, like ASAP. So I stayed up until 4 a.m. Or it went up at 4 a.m. or maybe it was 3 a.m. I don't remember. And then then the next day was Epic Universe. So I had like 3.5 hours of sleep, and then we'll finish up the story because let's get to the fun stuff. And then I made the mistake of promising that the Epic Universe video would be coming out, so I had to, spend all day editing that, and that went out at like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. So I've not slept very much, but I'm I'm still like
Potter collector.
Sleepy. Yeah, no one can see me except for Erik and Mel, and I I am not visually pleasing right now. So very sleepy. And then tomorrow's Harry Potter Chicago. It's crazy. It's like
so
Harry Potter.
We'll have to be back to talk about that.
Yeah, I know. There's Harry Potter all over the place. It's a great day to be a Harry Potter fan, or a great time. So anyway, what do you guys want to know about Epic Universe?
I think before we get into going to the park, just a little background on the logistics of your visit. So it was not open to the public. It was not a pass holder preview. It was an invitation.
Yes.
Only event.
Yes.
How many people do you think were with you? And was it the same group that was all day? Was it limited park hours? Just explain the logistics of how the day went and what you were able to explore and stuff, and how much you had to just kind of go where they told you to go.
Sure. So it was a media preview. So they invited, news people, content creators, bloggers, and we were broken into groups. And my group number 11, hi, group number 11. Um, we were 13 people, and then we had two reps from Universal, media reps, as well as a VIP tour guide, which was very cool. So each group had their own VIP tour guide, which was great because it was good practice and training for the VIP tour guides to prepare for the opening of Epic. Um, it was so Epic Universe had been doing and is still doing previews for team members, and team members are able to bring their families, and so it was still a team member day. So we had some team members and their families, as well as all of the media day happening people there, and it was the first time that they allowed people to take photos, allowed cameras in the park. So that was very exciting. And, everyone had their cameras out, obviously, because of how exciting, it was to be in Epic Universe. So total, I remember seeing a group number 16. I'm assuming there were more groups than that. Again, I was in group number 11. So, there were probably 300 plus media people invited to this event, I would guess.
Wow.
And yeah, no restrictions with, well, no, that's not true. We weren't able to film shows, the live shows, or certain parts of queues, mainly like the show section of queues, like for
Like any
example,
Yeah.
storyline
yeah,
plots or
like
anything.
yeah. And then obviously none of the rides, no filming on the rides. But besides that, everything was a free for all, and you can film anything. And the embargo was lifted. So the embargo is basically just like a date or a time where nothing is allowed to be photographed or shown, or secrets told, or anything. So the embargo is lifted. So it's
Here
it's
we are.
it's here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are. Yeah.
So did you have to like? I'm assuming with 300 people, there was no waiting in the queue, so you could kind of just like explore the queue.
Yeah,
Wa-
so yeah, so with the VIP tour guide, which is true for the other parks as well, if you hire a VIP tour guide, or pay for that, you go through the exits usually, or different ways to get onto the rides. So we did miss a lot of the queues, which is sad. Thankfully, we didn't miss, which I don't think that they would have skipped it anyway, but we didn't miss oh my gosh, guys, like
The
talk about the
elevator fun ride.
the greatest queue, the greatest, largest, most spectacular queue in the world is at Epic Universe. And I'm talking about, the Ministry of Magic.
That's
It's
so,
like
well, because it's to scale. Like that's
it
what's
is
so
to
mind-blowing about
scale.
it.
The offices are real offices. People work there, and they're like, "God, I wish I could
Wouldn't it be
leave.
so cool?
I wish I
That would
could
actually
You
be
leave.
just
I
so
see
want to."
like
cool.
someone just
That would
like
be really
tossing a
cool.
paper airplane like out of a window and it
Yeah, well,
just
even in the
flies on its
background,
own.
you could see it's a screen, but it looks like kind of as though it's not a screen. I don't know how they did it, honestly. It looks like the ministry just goes on and on and on and on.
Magic, duh.
Yeah, magic does. That's true. But you see the memos flying around, and in the background behind the wizard portion of the statue of starts with B.
The magical
Uh,
brethren.
Brethren, thank you. Um, what was I saying? Oh yeah, to scale. It's to scale. So I had heard, oh, it's going to be to scale and it's going to be huge and blah blah blah, and usually when you hear that, you walk into it and then you're just a little disappointed. It feels a little smaller than you expected. It felt exactly how I hoped it would, if not better. Like
It's wild.
you guys are gonna flip out when you walk in there. Like and the way you get into the atrium of the Ministry of Magic was so cool. Oh, by the way, this is like a spoiler-filled episode, so if you guys don't want to hear any spoilers, you may not want to listen to this one. All right, let me continue.
I'm
So
I'm
the
I'm anticipating people listening to this are people that watched your video
Probably,
and
yeah.
then
Yeah.
are coming
We can
here
also, we'll probably title
after.
the episode something like spoiler filled, like
Spoilers are
spoiler,
us.
Ooh, I like that.
epic spoilers. I don't know. Spoilers are
Eric
us.
grabbed a pen. Ooh, spoilers are us. I'll write that down.
Dear diary.
Copyright.
But
Anyway,
the
you were saying about the
yeah, the
Ministry of
way you
Magic.
get in, you go through fireplaces. So there the queue starts and you wait in line. There were how many were there? I think there were four or five fireplaces, and then there's a little light on the top, and um the numbers no, maybe there are four fireplaces. Each number symbolizes something. I forget what it was. It's something to do with the other lands or the other worlds that are in Epic. But that's besides the point. So the number lights up and it's like your time to go or your group's time to go. So you walk towards this fireplace and then fog like blasts up with green light. So you walk into the fireplace into this fog, and then you go along this very quick hallway, and then at the end of the hallway, another burst of fog comes up with green light, and then once you go through that, you're in the atrium.
Wow.
So it's
That's
cool
crazy.
for both like the person going through as well as anyone watching
Yeah.
the people walk through or even entering from the fireplace into the atrium. Like it's such a cool visual.
How do
It's and
you
then you're
how do you feel like that's gonna work when it gets really crowded? Like, do you think that effect will still be as powerful, or do you think if it's just like a slog of people slowly
it's
moving in?
no they you're so when you start the queue starts outside of all that
Okay.
and there are team members who are directing
Got it.
you
Okay.
to when to go.
Because
Yeah.
I know they had mentioned that there was an option for people that weren't willing to go on the attraction to still go in and see the Ministry of Magic. Did you
hmm
see how that was going to be set up? Or
it looks like you'll still have to just be in the queue
okay,
and kind of go through it, kind of like Green Gots,
sure. So then
where there's not like a yeah,
you just ditch out as soon as you get in there. You're like,
exactly.
actually, I'm just actually here to file a permit for my dragon. I don't know.
My whatever's my purple horn snorkax or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, so then you're in the atrium and you see the fountain of the magical brethren and like guys, I can't even describe how huge it is.
You thought in the initial like video walkthrough that they released a couple months ago that it looked kind of cheap. Do you remember saying that? You were like, I think the fountain looks kind of cheap or not as
It's
well done.
nope,
Perfect.
nope.
Okay, because
Yep.
we're like, I bet that was just the photo.
hmm
Like, I bet they actually.
Yep. It's not dark in there, but it's like the perfect amount of light that you're literally stepping into the Ministry of Magic as we see in the movies. Like
That's so cool.
it is
How did
so
it
spectacular.
feel? Because I know obviously it's themed like French Harry Potter, like you're in France. Like, how did it feel like disconnected? Obviously, like the whole concept of the ride is like you take the Flu Network and whatever to the ministry. But like, in my head, I'm like, oh, this just feels like a bit disjointed that like you're in French wizarding world.
1920s too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you're time traveling and do like
Yeah.
I imagine that the story like makes it make sense, but like do you think that it's reaching like what are
So
your thoughts?
there kind of isn't an obvious story. The ride and Wizarding Paris and the Ministry of Magic aren't like one thing. So it's like it didn't necessarily feel weird because I wasn't thinking about it, but the whole Wizarding World of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic kind of outside section, so not including the Metro Flu, which is where how you get into the Ministry of Magic, the English Ministry of Magic in the 1900 or the 1990s. It you kind of just don't think about it. It doesn't work. I mean, it doesn't work, but you don't think about it. And
Okay.
I guess it's just the best way I can like describe it is it's just works because of magic. Magic makes it work.
Ugh, I don't know.
So
I mean, I guess that was
Here's the
that
other
was like
weird thing.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
The other weird thing is I had an interaction with one of the shopkeepers at Caramel, which is the sweet shop. It's called Caramel, like it's spelled different, but
Caramel.
it's like caramel or whatever. It's like kind of cute. I actually didn't even pick up on that. It was Molly from Mammoth Club who she's like, I kept looking at it and kept looking at it and then realized, oh, it says caramel. Like it's called caramel, and then that's how I realized what it was, and we laughed anyway. So she talked about like time travel. So they kind of mix time travel in with it, I think, with the team members to maybe make it make sense. Because she talked about how I think I had talked about Harry Potter or something, and she talked about how like, oh yeah, someone else talked about or I heard that name from someone else earlier today or something, and must be someone from your time, or I don't. So it's like it's kind of weird, but again, it just you almost don't think about it when you're there.
Okay. That was like
So,
I feel like that was like my bigger concern. I have just like such like a type A personality
mhm,
that in my head I'm like, okay, well, having a Hogsmeade and a Hogwarts and a ride in Hogwarts makes sense. Having like a Diagon Alley with a Gringotts ride makes sense because Gringotts is in Diagon Alley. But then like the fact that there has to be this whole like story of okay, I'm in 1920s French like wizarding world, but then the ride is the Ministry of Magic back
mhm,
in the 90s and like how do we get here?
mhm.
um I guess that was my concern, but I guess if there is just enough like magic vibes, you don't even like think about that.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I think if the Fantastic Beasts movies had done better, if they were better received and the series was still actively going, I would have guessed that the main attraction would have been from that
Mhm,
era.
Yeah.
And so with this like disjointing time and physical space, you know, disparity, I feel like it's a safe bet to go with the Ministry of Magic. It's a very iconic set from the films. It's a place that people want to go. It looks really cool. So I think maybe they had something else like tentatively
mhm.
planned and were like, nah, I don't I don't think enough people are gonna relate to this, so let's do this. People will care more about it. So like I think it's more of a fan service type, I don't know, reason that it exists. That's just my thought. I don't know. I have nothing to base that on, but
No,
I
it makes perfect sense, and there's not much, crimes of it's set in the crimes of Grindelwald era, but there isn't really much of that storyline. It is more focused on the magical creatures and the fantastic beasts. You do see Newt Scamander in the show. There's like a stage show, magical creature stage show in the circus. Um, but besides that, there's really not a lot of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them storyline, which is good, which I'm sure they cut. Um, and then didn't want to, or probably, these buildings are massive, massive. So I'm sure that they were already building these facades, when
Yeah.
Fantastic Beasts was being released, and then however many millions of dollars were spent, it wouldn't have been easy to, kind of scratch and start from scratch. But they are 65 to 70 feet tall. And just to give some perspective, comparing that to Diagon Alley, the shortest building in Wizarding Paris is taller than the tallest building in Diagon Alley. So it's like, so if you've been to Diagon Alley and know how tall those buildings are, the scale and massiveness of these buildings is crazy.
So do you think that if you were to go straight from like Diagon Alley or Hogsmeade um to French Wizarding World, like do you think that you would notice like a difference in scale that it would like feel weird,
I don't think it would feel weird because I don't
like
think that
disproportionate.
no, I don't think so. I think it's it's not like they because it's true to like the architecture of Paris.
Cool.
And
Okay.
Diagon Alley is like true to the size of what Diagon Alley would be like. So
Cool.
so I don't think that it would feel disjointed or weird. I think if you went from Diagon to Wizarding Paris, you would notice these buildings are so much taller, but it's not like they took something that was short and just like supersized it. They just kind of made it like realistic,
Okay.
which is cool. Um,
What
yeah,
is it
but
called? That's like
it's called Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic. But like the Paris section, the 1920s Paris, it's Wizarding Paris.
Wizarding Paris. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. Do you want to wrap up this area, and then I have some other just like general questions we can talk about the other areas of the park.
Oh, we got to go back into the we got to get back into the Ministry
I
of
know.
Magic. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
get back into there,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then I
for
want to
sure.
back out and kind of just talk about the rest of the park briefly. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
go back to the Ministry of Magic, and then
So the queue is it's a massive queue, but the thing that's at the end of the queue is also massive, you guys. Best ride in the world. Like I don't say that lightly. I think this is
really,
the best ride in the world. It is spectacular. I don't know if you want it. Do you want to hear anything about it? Do you want to like
I
experience it
don't
yourself?
know. I
I
don't know. I've been holding off on watching your video because Alana
So
and I are like, I want to know and I want to know more about it, but at the same time, like,
I don't think I talk too much about the ride in the video, besides like technical things.
I
I'll
can
just say a
no, no, no.
couple
Talk about.
things.
I'm cool if you talk about it.
I'm cool hearing about it. I just do not want to watch any videos of it before I go on it. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
that's going to be so difficult for me. But yeah, I don't mind hearing about it because I especially want to know like, and I think other
I
people
don't know
would
what
too.
kind of ride it
Yeah,
is. I don't even
exactly.
know.
And so like people like me going on the Forbidden Journey ride, I can maybe do it once and I really have to be in the mood for it because it's just mostly looking at screens and
Hmm.
I like Transformers is like that, Spider-Man's like that. I can't handle those anymore. My 35, almost
30s.
36-year-old inner ear just can't handle that. And I'm disappointed with that because I used to be able to do Forbidden Journey like 20 times in
Just
a row.
stay on.
No
Go, go,
worries. Yeah.
go. Yeah,
And like
yeah.
the last time I went, like maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, I don't remember now, but yeah, I was like, I did it right in the morning, right after Hagrid, and I'm like, nope. I needed to sit down for like a half hour, and I'm like, what's wrong with me? This is terrible. So yeah, I do want to hear about the ride
Yeah, I want to
and
hear
Okay.
about the ride.
what it entails.
So after the atrium, you're going through various places in the Ministry of Magic. You go through the Hall of the Fallen Aurors, and you see Mad Eye Moody and Frank and Alice Longbottom and a different Fallen Auror who I don't remember who they are. You go through a room with all the portraits of the ministers, and you see Scrimge. I can never pronounce his name. Scrimgeour, Scrimgeour,
Sure.
Scrimgeour, and Fudge is there, and then you see the current minister,
Scrimjaw?
Scrimgeour.
Scrimgeour,
I always say Scrimgeour because that's what they say in the
Scrimgeour,
audiobooks.
Scrimgeour,
Scrimgeour.
I
Who's a
thought
and
Jim
Scrimgeour?
Dale ones say Scrimjaw, don't
Well,
they?
I'm not saying it with a British accent. I'm saying it with a Long Island
Scrimgeour,
accent.
Oh, okay.
Scrimgeour.
Scrimgeour,
Let's call him S Daddy.
S Daddy. So you see S Daddy there, and you see Fudge, and the current Minister for Magic. You see Kingsley, his portrait. You also see him on that giant banner in the Ministry
Cool.
of Magic atrium, where it's showing like, oh, it's the trial of Professor Umbridge today. So that's the storyline of the ride is you happen to be at the Ministry of Magic during the trial of Professor Umbridge, after the fall of Voldemort, and she's going to pay for her crimes. So you go through various places. You go through kind of like the Auror's locker room, which has a bunch of lockers, and then the three lockers that are open are Neville's, Harry's, and and Ron's lockers, and they each locker has like, different Easter eggs inside of it, like the Wizarding Wireless Network radio, and Ron's
Cool.
hat, or and Ron's and Harry's jacket from is like kind of bluish jacket from Deathly Hallows is in there. There's a Plants of the Mediterranean book in Neville's locker.
What a
So you go through
nerd.
that.
I'm
Oh
just
no, what
kidding.
a crazy
What a
doodle.
nerd.
And then you go
But
through.
doesn't wait,
I thought
but
Neville
doesn't
was a
Neville become
herbology
a
professor.
professor? Yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Isn't it canon that he started as or was an Auror at one point?
And then went to be a professor?
Yeah,
Oh, I don't know.
maybe I'm wrong, but anyway, he's got a locker
He's got a
in
All right,
locker.
whatever.
Whatever.
he's
Cool.
Time.
got a locker,
Yeah, whatever.
Honorary,
honorary
or
locker.
like
They were
okay.
just giving out lockers. Like, who wants one? Anybody
They're
Who
wants
wants
to
a
listen,
want a
locker?
locker?
you fought at the Battle of Hogwarts, you get a
You get a
locker.
You get a
locker.
locker.
Good
You
for
get a
you.
locker. You get a locker. Everybody gets a locker. And
Everyone
then
gets a, not you, a
not you, not
locker.
you. Yeah, exactly.
They skip Umbridge. Nope. Yes.
So speaking of Umbridge, so then you go down a hallway and you see a lot of pink and a lot of things in boxes. So the Ministry has raided Umbridge's offices, and they're boxing her stuff up. And then you turn a corner and you hear this voice. You hear this voice talking, this very high voice speaking. And then you go around a corner and you're in Umbridge's office, still kind of rated by the Ministry. Um, there's some magical things happening, and then what do you see, Eric? What do you see?
Probably the new biggest thing to come out of this whole
Mm-hmm.
shabam is our
Yeah,
new house elf character.
our new house elf character. Go ahead, announcer.
I don't remember the name. And and I I'm 50% sure, but I wasn't gonna
Okay.
shout out something that I don't
Well,
want. So
shout it out. Let's see if
no,
you
no,
got it.
no, 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 no. You gotta do it.
Higgledy.
Higgledy. I was
Higgledy.
gonna say Piggledy, so that's good. I was close though. Higgledy.
Uh, so you see Higgledy the house elf, which is, Umbridge's former house elf. And it's so cute because she's like sitting on top of a pile of papers, and she has one of Umbridge's shoes like dangling from one of her feet. And she's taking notes of like all of the stuff in Umbridge's office, and she's talking about how, you know, how I think Umbridge has a plan of something, and I think she's up to something, my old mistress, and something about time turners, that's mentioned. And then she talks about how like, there's pink, there's just pink everywhere, so much pink, which is accurate.
And that's probably
So
the last time we see Higgledy, right?
that's the
That's
last and only time you see Higgledy. Um, no, 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 no. That's a lie. You see Higgledy in the ride.
I know.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
figured you would.
Oh yeah, yeah, you do. So you see, yeah, so you get some information, about what you're about to see. Little storyline plot points are coming to life, and then you go into the lifts room that we see. So you go into the lifts, and the ride vehicle is probably about the size of like the Tower of Terror ride vehicle. Maybe a little bit. Is it 2 rows? No, it's only 2 rows. Yeah, it's only 2 rows deep. No, maybe it is 3 rows. I don't remember,
It
but
looked
it's
like
about this
three. I
size.
I remember seeing a picture and thinking that looks very similar to a Tower of Terror ride
So
vehicle.
so it is. Yeah, it's very similar to that. Really beautiful little ride vehicles. Very Ministry of Magic. You know, leather tufted seats. Look, it's just very nice. Um, and the way I can describe the ride is uh, it's kind of like Spider-Man meets Forbidden Journey meets Gringotts. Like it's hard to describe. Also mixed Tower of Terror in with that. So the lifts, so there are a lot of screens. However, The screens are so crisp and so clear that there are points where you don't know whether it's a screen or not, which is quite a feat in my
Yeah, wow.
opinion. Um, and there are practical effects, and you're moving up and you're dropping and you're going side to side, and the screen is moving. It makes you feel like you're moving fast along, the hallways on these lifts. And you see familiar faces, so you see the Golden Trio and you see Higgledy. Um, so I'll kind of give just the basic storyline. So Umbridge, um, she has help from Death Eaters and is in a lift and basically escapes. And her goal is to turn back time back to the time of Voldemort so she can, you know, fix things and, change the past. Um, the animatronics are the most spectacular things I have ever seen. So I always thought that Disney had the greatest animatronics in the world. So you see two Death Eater animatronics. The Death Eater animatronics are the most fluid, realistic, moving
Wow.
animatronics I've ever seen in my life. It's like they're actors. They're so good. Um, we go into the Department of Magical Creatures where magical creatures escape and there's some chaos with that. And you see a massive erumpent. Massive. It's huge. The animatronic is huge. So you remember, have you been on Kong, the Kong
Yeah.
ride? And you know how big King Kong is? It's bigger than King Kong.
Wow.
Wow.
It's huge. It's so cool. And he's like lit up. His nose is lit up. And um, so let's see what else. So then you're kind of just going around different areas of the ministry and you get to the time room and there's a broken time turner and Professor Umbridge tries to repair the time turner, which I guess you can't do. And
Everybody knows that.
yeah, so Higgledy is like warning, I think it was Higgledy who warned her not to do that. Like, don't do it, don't do it. And then there's like a big explosion and Umbridge is caught again. And then you see, oh, there are animatronics of the Golden Trio.
Oh,
There's
wait.
there,
Can I stop and ask you,
yeah,
is the voice of Hermione better?
it's better. It's not perfect, but it's better. Yeah.
All right.
Ron sounds most realistic. I don't know if Rupert Grint reprised his role again for it or not. Daniel Radcliffe's is okay. And then I think Emma Watson's voice is okay, or Hermione's voice is okay.
Are there
It we
anyone besides Umbridge that is a faithful the person reprising the role?
Supposedly Eddie Redmayne reprised his role for the circus show, but he does not sound anything like him. He sounds
Oh,
like
weird.
Megan from Miss Wizarding World said he sounds like um, Professor Slughorn. And I don't think I don't think that's his voice, but that's what he sounds like. But it's like Eddie Redmayne. So I don't know if he reprised his role or if he just like
Interesting.
acted and didn't use his voice. It was weird.
He gave it a D plus job.
Yeah,
I don't know.
something. But I think it was just Imelda who reprised her role
Okay.
for this. And no, wait, who else? I think no, I think Mad Eye reprised his role for the portrait, or what's his name? Who's the actor's name? Um, I can't think right now. But anyway, he sounds just like him. I mean, who knows what's I at this point
Yeah.
anymore, but sounds just like him. But yeah, Imelda, I think, is the only one. And then yeah,
Brendan
so they're
Gleeson.
they're animatronics of her as well, which are also really, really good. And then the ride ends with you going into the courtroom and you see Bridge back in her striped pajamas, ready for Azkaban prison and being sentenced. And
Yikes.
yeah, I mean, like to obviously everyone in the group was so excited that we didn't know if we were going to be able to ride Battle at the Mystery or not because it hadn't been opened until that day. And so we were hyped and excited to be able to ride it for one, but also just how good the ride was. Literally things would happen and the whole elevator car was like cheering. Obviously, we're all Harry Potter fans too, but like we saw the freaking animatronic Death Eater for the first time, and everyone's like flipping out just at how good it was.
Wow.
It is such a good ride. It's so good.
It was probably pretty cool also that everyone there, which are most people were content creators, but you had to just ride the ride without filming stuff,
Yeah,
right? So
true.
like so that's really cool. Like at the core, if you're there, you like Harry Potter, you like theme parks, you like Universal, and it's like the one part of the day where you actually get to just like enjoy it and you don't feel any obligation to capture any footage for people,
hmm
which yeah, that's got to be super cool. Like you're all cheering about the same thing because you all like the same thing and you're actually just
Yeah.
like witnessing it for the first time
Yeah.
without having to think about anything besides just enjoying the ride, which is awesome.
Yeah. No, that is a very good point and very accurate. Yeah. Yeah, and then you exit through a gift shop, which has a ton of new merch. You
That
guys, there's
makes
so
sense.
much new merch.
What did you
Ugh.
buy?
I bought all of the wands, all of the exclusive wands.
That makes sense.
So there'll be a YouTube video about that.
Did they let you use your annual pass holder discount?
Yes.
Oh, that's good because
Yes,
like
you can use
I
your
could
password discount.
totally see them being like, "Sorry, it's a preview event,
No, it's
no
preview event, sorry.
discounts." It's actually the double
Um,
double price at the preview event.
I bought the new Fooper plush and the new Mooncalf plush.
Aw,
Um,
cute.
what else did I buy? I bought a bunch of shirts. I bought a ton of candy from Caramel. You'll have to look up after this how it's spelled because it's like it's you try to like you read it and you're like Caramel or whatever and it's like oh wait caramel. That makes total sense. So I bought a bunch of the new candies which are packaged so beautifully. Um, what else? Oh, they have some new mystery pins, chocolate frog card mystery pins. So I had to get some of
Fun.
those. Yeah. Oh, and then I got this the cutest little thing. I don't you may have seen on my Instagram story. You know the Hedwig backpack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They for
Oh, the toothless.
yes, the toothless. They have one now for Isla Burke merch. And it's toothless from How to Train Your Dragon, the Night Fury backpack. It's so cute.
Okay,
So
I mean,
got that.
speaking of, so we did put like a time stamp on this because like I just got back from a trip in Florida where I just swam in a pool like every day. I didn't do anything like crazy epic, but like Peter just got back, so we're all just like beat. So we did put like a time limit on this episode to talk about this. Obviously, we're spending majority of our time talking about the Wizarding World stuff, but I do need to hear about the Isle of Burke because I love How to Train Your Dragon. And I am so excited about the Isle of Burke.
I
Well,
am obsessed with Isle of Burke.
so how about we do this?
Sure,
Let's
what?
let's can we just go through all the other
Oh, sure.
lands
No,
briefly and just
I've got more time. We can go
okay.
past
Well, and
if Mel doesn't fall asleep.
that's
Do
okay.
you see my eyes every so often when I'm
Yeah.
doing like one
Like
of these? I'm having a rough time. I'm having a rough
So
time.
logistically, when I was watching your video and other people's videos as well, it seemed like the flow of the park, wait, like getting in and out of all the areas. Are there more ways to do that than just going through the little portal things? Or do you
no.
have to go back out to the middle and then go to the next one?
So they do have side exits. So on either side of the portal, there are exit paths. So it'll be interesting to see how they when there are a lot of people in there, how they uh uh um
Direct
guide
the
traffic,
traffic,
direct
yeah. Because
traffic.
that was my first thought, like when I saw
Yeah.
that. And of course, it's not like, wow, look at Celestial Park, it's so beautiful. I'm like, how are the people gonna fit in there? I'm like that one guy in the back, like, where are they gonna stand?
So you enter through the portals, but there aren't like any like oh 100 feet to the further, there's an exit or whatever. So it's basically the entrance and exits are all right there at the portal.
Okay, and I
And
would
it does not
assume
feel,
for emergency purposes, you can probably get through there other
yeah, oh
ways. Like
yeah,
if they
I'm
had to
sure,
evacuate,
yeah.
because that's like that was the other part of me. I'm like, Mr. Safety, like where are people gonna go? Um, yeah, so okay, so that's cool though, because
It
it
is
really
very cool.
it makes it so the transitions between the different areas like is exactly how they want it to be. There's no sight lines. There's no like weird, hey, there's Jurassic Park and the back of Hogwarts Castle. Like which
The
some cases it's unavoidable. Like if you go on Velocicoaster, of course you're going to see everything
mhm,
in that park. But it seems like the way that this park was designed, you really can kind of keep everything to itself. I mean,
mhm.
I'm assuming if you go on the what are they called? The
Stardust Racers.
Stardust Racers, you probably can see other parts
You
of the
can
park
see
on
if you're looking, but with Stardust Racers, let's just go there quickly. Which is located in Celestial Park. So there are two rides in Celestial Park. There's the Stardust Racers, and then the Constellation Carousel,
That looks
which
so
is
cool. That
it's a
I saw
beautiful
videos of.
building. The building's
Yeah.
beautiful. But Stardust Racers, you're not looking around. You are looking at the other car that you're racing or the other train that you're racing. It is such a blast. Like it's like Dueling Dragons. If you rode Dueling Dragons where, you were competitive with the other train and you're zooming by each other and flipping over each other. It's a great ride. I still prefer Velocicoaster. I think it's more thrilling, but Stardust Racers is a fantastic roller coaster. But the portals are huge. Like they're in person, they're huge. They're massive. So flow wise, I don't think there'll be a concern to get people in. But what's cool about the portals and just the different worlds is you like you said, there's no sight line. You can't see. You literally cannot see the world. Well, I mean, various parts, I guess you can see parts of the worlds, but like if you're in Celestial Park, you can, I think maybe you can't. Or maybe I'm thinking like if you're outside of I don't know. And now I don't remember. But for the most part, you can't see the different worlds if you're in Celestial Park, which is so cool, so cool. Um, so Isle of Berk, you go through the portal, and Isle of Berk is the largest of the lands or the largest of the worlds, and you're just immediately met with the melody of the soundtrack, and
Ugh,
it's
which is
it.
such a good soundtrack.
I have been listening to that song. It's so the song is Test Flight is it's what the song is called, and I've just been listening to that on repeat. I love that song so much, that melody. But you walk in and you're just met with the Isle of Berk. It's just
Are
the
there a lot of dragons around?
yes,
Amazing.
a lot of dragons, a lot of sheep.
How many dragons can you touch?
You can touch one, two. The ones that I saw that you could touch are two. So you can meet Toothless and touch Toothless, and then Astrid's dragon also comes out with Astrid, and you can interact with it's amazing. And the show is spectacular. I mean, if you're a fan of dragons and How to Train Your Dragon, just spoiler warning, when Toothless and Hiccup come flying out of the clouds, we're talking a full-on puppet of Toothless and a live actor playing Hiccup sitting on the back of Toothless flying over you in the theater. To that music, them tears they're gonna start flowing.
Oh
Oh
gosh,
my God.
wow.
I'm like,
It's
I remember seeing How to Train Your Dragon, the first movie in IMAX, sitting like in like the third row and being like, I feel like I'm flying on a dragon. Like that's
mhm.
just how that movie is. And the fact that like I just feel like Universal is very smart. they're smart and dumb, I feel like sometimes, but I feel like How to Train Your Dragon was a smart choice
Hmm.
for a land, especially because yes, the animated movies, like they're the three animated movies, but they are coming out with the live action. It is staying alive. And I feel like that timing wise makes a lot of sense. I feel like Universal Studios has a habit of picking ride choices that aren't very timeless. And that's why you see a lot of like turnover in the rides over there. Like you have the whole Simpsons area, which I mean, that could just be because I'm not like the biggest Simpsons fan, right? But like, I just feel like it's not timeless. I feel like Men in Black is not timeless. I feel
Fast
like
and the Furious.
Fast and Furious,
That's already
not
gone. Ooh.
not timeless. Transformers, not timeless. Like any of those rides, I feel like could come and go in a second. I feel like they made a huge mistake getting rid of rides like Jaws, and
Mm.
like those are classics. Even like, I mean,
Yeah.
I can't really say like Twister is a classic, but
Well, the
I
Terminator
love Twister.
show, like, I know that's kind of
Yeah,
dated,
or
but like
like
that is
or
it's coming back to the classics.
no, or Back to the Future. Like
Mm.
that's a timeless classic. And I feel like that was what was so great about Universal Studios. And I feel like they've kind of lost that like essence, in that park. And I feel like I that was like my big hope for Epic Universe, was that it would pick themes that would hold true to that like timeless nature of Universal, Universal
Hmm.
as a whole. And I feel like How to Train Your Dragon is the only one out of the section, like the different worlds at Epic Universe, that I like am questionable of, but I do think that it has the potential to be a timeless type of area. Dragons are just cool, like
Hmm.
I feel like everyone always loves dragons.
Yeah, you don't have to have seen the
Obviously,
movies to like appreciate
no.
dragons, right? Like, and that's where I feel that it's the theming of the area itself. I mean, it's it's fan service to people that like that IP, but also you don't have to know anything about it to just walk around and be like, I'm in a world where dragons coexist with people. Just like you don't
Mm.
have to be a Harry Potter fan to walk through Diagon Alley or Hogsmeade and go, wow, this is really cool. Like it looks like I'm in a
Yeah.
world where wizards could live. Like,
Hmm.
but you don't have to be a fan
Yeah.
necessarily of Harry Potter, but you can still appreciate just that aesthetic and that vibe. And I think
Hmm.
this dragon area is kind of like a good resurgence of what the area where dueling dragons initially was in Islands of Adventure. Like this is kind of just a like a more polished version of that with
Yeah.
some tie to an IP. So it does have that
Hmm.
staying power. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
I'm
feel like
excited to
Epic
see it.
Universe is kind of like the like redemption story in the three parks in my head, because I do feel like Universal Studios has lost so much of like that timeless charm, especially like all the minions. Like it drives me crazy. Like we're investing so much in minions and they're just minions annoy me. I don't know, but that's
Yeah,
just
and
my
that's the
thoughts.
first thing that you enter into.
Exactly. Whereas
Yeah.
this, I feel like I like that you enter into a neutral aerial celestial park where it's like
Hmm.
that's a beautiful theme. Okay. It's just is a beautiful looking space. And I feel that way about like Islands of Adventure too. When you first walk into Islands of Adventure, it's very
Mm.
neutral
Hmm.
and mystical. And I can hear that music like in my dreams.
Hmm.
I love how Islands of Adventure is built. I love that. Okay, we have the Marvel superheroes, timeless. We have the old classic cartoon characters, timeless. Dinosaurs, timeless. Harry Potter, timeless. Poseidon's Fury, which I hope never leaves ever unless it turns into Chamber of Secrets land. It's not really timeless, but like I love it. And then Dr.
It's
Seuss,
gone.
like Poseidon's Fury. Don't tell
Did
me,
you not know?
Peter.
You didn't know? They shut
What?
that down. I'm
I
serious.
think I did know. I know. I think I kind of did know, but like you
Blocked out your
saying that,
memory.
just like yeah, I think maybe I like just had a trauma response and blacked
No,
out.
I was talking to someone on Instagram the other day. They had posted a photo of or a reel or something about Poseidon's Fury, and I was like, I wish I could just have one more tour.
What's gonna happen to
I
One
Taylor?
more tour. I know, and see Taylor one more time.
I think I did because I went in like the first year that that park opened, and I think I went on the tour when it was the original story and not the updated story, and like the CG effects were even worse. But yeah, it was a way different story. There's a great YouTube video. I don't remember which channel that goes through like the whole history of that ride, and it goes through the two stories about how like one of them is just like, I'm gonna kill you all. And it was like, whoa, that's a little
Oh,
dark. Like,
okay.
oh,
All right.
you're gonna kill us
Oh
all. Great. And then
no.
now it's just like, I'm
So,
gonna take a
uh,
tour, and oh look, here they are. And
all
yeah,
right. So wait, this doesn't have anything to do with Epic Universe, but like, what are they doing with Lost Continent?
Uh, no one really officially knows. Zelda
It's
has
just
been
it.
floated
Zelda has been
around.
floated around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Expansion of Wizarding World has been floated.
Listen, if Poseidon's Fury either turned into like a walkthrough water temple dungeon of Legend of Zelda, or it turned into a Chamber of Secrets experience, cool either way.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
gonna
Like,
they're gonna turn it into the Luxembourg Ministry of Magic in the year 1750
that'd be a little
with
And then
no
you travel
explanation.
back to the 90s, Hogsmeade.
You go there, and there's
That's
like a guy,
silly.
and just like, oh hi,
All right. Isle of Berk,
Yeah.
Super Nintendo.
and Dark Universe.
And
I
yeah,
know,
and
but
Dark
like
Universe. Yeah.
I'm
I know.
doing it in order of
I
like
know. Well, so Isla
interest.
Burke,
So
what
yes.
attractions could you go on? Just briefly
So
mention them and what
Isle
kind
of
of rides they
Berk,
were.
Isle of Berk, there is a family roller coaster. It's more of a tame Hagrid's. It's a good starter coaster. It's very cute.
Cool.
Hiccup is building this contraption that is allowing people to fly like dragons without having to fly on a dragon. But he makes the mistake of telling Toothless that, you don't need to fly on dragons, and Toothless doesn't like that. So before the wings are on this contraption, Toothless sets it off, and you're in this contraption and you're flying around Burke and kind of a little bit of chaos. And then I won't spoil the next part, but there's another fun little part in the roller coaster. Um, and then there's the oh, what's it called? I forget the name of the ride, but it's one where you're kind of on like a teeter-totter thing, and you're
Oh,
you're doing
yep.
dragon
Yeah.
racing.
We have one of those at the Mall of America here.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I know it's an Intamin. Yeah, you can like tip your things and spin
Yeah,
around
tip your
like a
thing,
pinwheel.
spin
Yeah, yeah.
around, and yeah, that was cute. It was a little short.
It's a slow
Um,
load. Like that was something when I saw they were installing them and they have two of them there. I'm like, ugh, on a busy day, that's gonna
it take a while.
take a
Yeah.
while.
So that was cute. But what's nice about it is like it doesn't have to be a thrill ride, and you don't get sick. Like
No,
I didn't
I
feel
can
sick
do
at
that one
all.
totally. I can totally do that one, no problem. And
It
I know
it
how to make it spin. Like I can do it if I
yeah.
want to, and I just choose not to because
Yeah.
I will get sick if I do that.
So a great way to like just see the park. And then there's a water ride, one of those like, where you're like trying to battle the other boat and you're kind of going around and you're spraying everybody um and then there's like a interactive play area um within Isle of Berk as well. And then obviously the show and character meet and greets. Like I love it because it's there's there the characters Rough Nut and what's oh my gosh, what's the other name? um the brother sister in
Oh,
Rough Nut, and oh my gosh, I can't, well, it's
I,
Rough Nut and the other one.
okay. I know who you're
But
talking about.
yeah, I forget, but they're just walking around and you can interact with them, and obviously Astrid is there, and you can meet her and Chief Hiccup.
I looked it up.
What
It's
what
Rough Nut and Tough Nut.
tough? Oh, it is Tough Nut. Okay, Rough Nut
I'm
and
like,
Tough Nut. Yeah.
it can't be that similar. Oh, it is. It's
So the character interaction is great. They're excellent. Yeah, and then lots of merch, a lot of restaurant options. Yeah, it's a really really beautiful area. Beautiful benches and colors, and again dragons everywhere, and it's it's it's
Amazing.
spectacular.
All right. Boop 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 boop.
Boom, 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 boom.
Ha,
Didn't spend a
tell me
ton of
everything.
time here because so we we're going to Donkey Kong's minecart, and which is like it's a really cool looking roller coaster where you're in a mine cart and you're jumping the tracks. So the way they've like set it up, it's if you haven't seen, it's there's you're the you're kind of on it's a roller coaster. You're on an arm. Your cart's on an arm almost, but then it's like side mounted. So it's the wheels are on the side. And if you think of like a roller coaster track that's level, it's like just tilted to the side. But then in front of you and under you is a faux track, a fake track that looks like a mine track, a mine cart track. And so it feels and looks like you're, going on this rickety track and you're jumping the track at various points and stuff. When we got up there, the ride had broken down, so I didn't get to ride it, unfortunately.
Oh
Um,
no. Good thing you're going
yeah,
back next week.
I know.
Or you can just watch the video from the
Or
Japan version.
exactly, or just
The
watch
same.
the video in Japan. It is the exact ride. So I feel like Super Nintendo World is bigger at Epic than it is at in Hollywood, Universal Hollywood. Obviously, it has Donkey Kong Country, but like just kind of the main area, I feel like it's bigger. I could be wrong, but I, it felt bigger. So you go through the portal and exit out of you enter into Princess Peach's castle, and then as you exit the castle, you are just met with like a party, a Nintendo party. Like it's like everything
Amazing.
is there. The mushrooms, the coins, the boxes. Music is so loud, but it's so great. The dun 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 dun. It's just so good. We didn't spend a lot of time in there, unfortunately. It was towards the end of the day, and I wanted to end the day in Ministry of Magic. And so I kind of just walked through Super Nintendo World into Donkey Kong Country to go on the ride, which didn't ride, but Donkey Kong Country is very, very cute. Waterfalls everywhere and fun nods to various characters. There's Funky has a store. I'm sure Diddy has something there. It's just I'm excited to spend more time in Donkey Kong Country, um, and obviously ride the ride. So it's beautiful, it's loud, it's a party in Super Nintendo
Awesome.
World. Yeah. And then I also didn't spend a lot of time in Dark Universe because we had gone in to ride the main ride, which was Monsters Unchained, which is inside of Frankenstein Manor, and that also unfortunately was down when we got to the load station. Um, but I heard that is like so that's kind of similar to Forbidden Journey, but without the screens, and it's all animatronics and practical effects. And I hear that the animatronics in there are to die for, which is probably why
That's cool.
it's was shut down. They're still figuring that out
Yeah, I
because
saw a
I'm
lot
sure
of
they're
really positive feedback for
yeah.
that attraction. With some people saying it was their favorite one in the whole park. So that's a
Okay.
shame you didn't get to go
I
on
know.
it
I'm so sad, but next week,
next week.
next weekend, yeah. Um, and then the other ride in there is Curse of the Werewolf, and that's a roller coaster where you're in kind of like a circular, or no, you're not in a circular train, but like the individual like cars of the train rotate as you're going
Ah,
around, and there's show
we have a
scenes.
we have a roller coaster at Adventureland like that. It's like
Okay,
20 seconds long, but it's like a little roller coaster. It's called like
yeah,
Turbulence, but it's like
okay,
little circles where it's like two people sit facing forward, two people sit facing backward, and the individual cars like spin as the
spin,
coaster goes on the track.
yeah, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So didn't ride that either because again, I wanted well left um Dark Universe to go to ride the minecart ride. But then when that closed, I was like, okay, I've gotta get to Wizarding World for the last
All right.
hour. But I think Dark Universe, everything is black and dark and hot. Like it's so hot
Oh, yeah,
in
I
that land.
suppose.
So nighttime is going to be the time to be there. Well, for one, it's like that's when it's going to be spooky and going to feel
Yeah.
like Halloween and feel like Universal Monsters. And there's fog and everything's lit up beautiful. Or it's going to be lit up from the little. It was still light out, but I could see the lights and stuff. It's going to look so fun and so good. So that for me at least will be more of a nighttime thing. I don't know if I'll go in during the day very often because again, especially on a hot day, it was really really hot in that area. Um, and it's Celestial Park is just beautiful gardens everywhere and fountains and waterfalls and this giant Vegas style fountain that does a show in front of the Helios Grand throughout the day, and it's Universal killed it. They knocked this one out of the Quidditch
Wow.
pitch for sure.
And can you share probably the best Easter egg in Celestial Park that you sent me?
Which one was it?
Wow, when you said you were so tired last night, and I said, well, you should just lay down and watch Back to the Future.
Oh yes, 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 yes,
Is
yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
which might be one my if not my favorite movie in my top
Yes.
five movies
Yes.
ever. And I don't know if I told Melanie this, but I watched it on the plane on the way home because that's always like
Yeah.
my go-to
Oh, that's so
I'm tired
fun.
movie.
Yeah.
John
So
and I were just talking about like we need to watch Back to the Future
oh,
like
I could watch
instantly.
Back to the Future Part One once a week for the rest of my life and never get bored with it. But
It's
I
such a good
watched it on
movie.
the plane and I was wearing a Back to the Future T-shirt while I didn't even realize it.
Embarrassing.
So, and I don't think anyone else realized it too, but like it would have just taken one
Yeah.
flight attendant walking by being like, "Okay,
Oh, super
Way to
fan.
oh,
go,
super
loser.
fan over here. Hey-oh."
So, Stardust Racers, the trains are powered by the flux capacitor.
Do they say that outright, or do you just have to notice that
No,
it's
they
stuck
don't. You
on the
just have to
back?
notice. Yeah. Here, Mel, I'll pull up the video of it.
You sent it to me. I saw
Oh, I
it
sent it.
too.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
I
sent
did.
it.
Oh, I sent it to the
You sent
group.
it in
Yeah,
our
you
Oh,
little
sent it to the
group.
group.
oh, got it. Okay. Yeah,
I will say that I was disappointed to learn that it does not go 88 miles per hour.
Yeah,
I
that's a
know.
disappointment. Missed
Yeah.
opportunity there.
Missed opportunity.
So the fastest goes is just over 62 miles per hour. So
Womp
yeah,
womp.
Womp womp.
whompadoodle do. And
Well,
then at night, ugh, Celestial Park. I haven't seen everything at night. I saw Isle of Burke at night and Celestial Park at night, and both are freaking gorgeous. Like, I don't. I mean, you know when you're like you have to leave Diagon Alley. The the white dressed professionals come out and they escort you out, and it's very sad. The security guards. But the security guards, started to escort people out. So I'm like, okay, it's time to go. And it
All
was very
right.
sad, but um, it's beautiful. Everything's lit up so beautifully.
so how long were you able to spend in the park then?
So we got there at 9 a.m. and I left. So Megan from Miss Wizarding World and I, we stayed. We were told that like if you want to take the bus back to the hotel, the buses will leave at like 7:05 or something. But if you miss the bus, you can walk back or take an Uber or whatever. So we elected to walk back and stayed until everyone was asked to leave the park, which was like around 8 p.m. or so. So the park officially closed at 7. So very similar to like Universal, where
Okay.
you're able to kind of hang out a little bit and take your final photos and do your final shopping. And so we went into the store at the front of the park and did some shopping and content creation and then walked
I guess
back out into our world.
my final question about the park. Well, I guess I have two, and this probably applies to
And
Melanie also.
I have one final
Okay, and
question.
that'll be
So
it.
you do your final question
The
and I'll do
food
mine.
that you had during the day, was everything open, or was it pretty much told like you can go here or here, or how
Most
did that
most
work?
things were most things were open. They provided a buffet for us, so it wasn't like uh, the food was like slightly modified from what you would receive. So
Okay,
food wise, I didn't. I wouldn't. I didn't try anything. Um,
Oh, that
if the
was gonna kind of be my question.
yeah, so if the food that they served buffet style was, exactly how it would taste, it tasted very good. But I think some of the things were modified to feed us. Megan from Miss Wizarding World did try the butterbeer crepes, which I I don't know how I didn't hear her saying she was going to try the butterbeer crepes. All of a sudden, she was like, we were together in the dark alley area, and she went into this restaurant, and I followed behind a few seconds later and couldn't find her. And then learned later that she was in the restaurant eating the butterbeer crepes because she had said, "Hey, I'm gonna go get the butterbeer crepes. Do you want to get the butterbeer crepes?"
I'm
So I almost tried the butterbeer crepes, but I don't know how I didn't hear. I was so overwhelmed by the
You were
day.
probably stuck still standing in front of the caramel store, and
Yeah,
you're like,
probably. Yeah,
"Hey, A," and she's like, "I'm going to get a
I'm
crepe,"
getting
and you're
butterbeer
like,
crepes.
"Okay,
Okay.
R-A-M
But
Carumo."
but they look so good, and she said that they tasted delicious. Let me pull up a picture for you guys really quick. That she had sent me. But
Was that your question, Melanie? Was about food also?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Knowing Peter as I do, my question was gonna be, what was your favorite thing that you ate?
Oh, that looks spectacular.
Ooh,
I wonder how
yum.
it tastes with the
right,
strawberries, though.
I probably would be pretty good, I think. But so food wise, so I had there was like the day was over. We were like here, there, boom, boom, bam, bam. Like my plant. So they in the schedule we were told like that the tour would go until about 3 p.m. and then we would have 4 hours, 4, 5, 6, yeah, 4 hours to kind of do our own thing. So my goal was to go back to Wizarding World and go to a restaurant and order all the food and and do a video on that and trying the foods. But there was no time. It was crazy. And we also wanted to stay with our tour guide because if by staying with the tour guide, then we were able to get onto the rides kind of immediately, and wouldn't have to stay in the queue, which weren't too long anyway, but it was still nice to just get right onto the rides.
All right,
So we had
so
time to film
stuff to
stuff.
do next time.
Yeah, exactly.
So then I guess my
So
final
yeah.
question was for people like Melanie and myself who have small children, do you think this would be a park to take children to?
100%.
Yeah?
Oh, without a doubt.
Really?
Really?
Oh,
Because
Really?
absolutely. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh.
that's
What could
that's
little
the
Nora go
yeah, that's
on?
the big hang up for
Little
me. It's like my daughter can go on lots of things. She's over 48 inches tall, but my son, who loves going on stuff, I can see him just being really disappointed because he can't go on lots of things. Like I'm thinking of the other two Universal parks specifically. Like there's not much
Yeah.
for someone that's not 48 inches to go on unless you go to
um so
Dr. Seuss Landing
so
or
you have to be
Simpsons.
40 inches to go on to Hiccup's Wing Glider, which is the roller coaster. I think that's the same with the mine cart. There's Mario Kart. There's the Yoshi People Mover. Um, the Wizarding World, the shows, there are just character interaction. I mean, I guess for me, I'm not thinking rides because I don't often go on rides when I go to the parks, to be honest. Like it's if I'm there, unless I'm there with people, I don't usually ride things. I'm just there in the ambiance and the experience and of the park. So I guess I'm thinking more along the lines of, character interaction and seeing all the colors and the play
Yeah.
areas and the shows.
It's just so hard going from like with kids, Disney, where the answer is never no,
Or
to a
very,
park
very rarely no. And
like
if
I
the answer
think that
is
there's one
no,
or
they
two
usually don't want to go
rides.
on it anyway.
Right. There's like one or two rides in there's one ride or two rides in Epcot that Nora can't go on. There's like one ride at Hollywood she can't go on. There's one ride at now I think she can go on anything at oh no, there's two rides that she can't go on at Magic Kingdom. So it's hard when she's like, let's go on this ride, let's go on this ride, let's go on this ride, then going to Universal and up we can go on ET and that's it. Like that's hard. And then it also makes it hard because then it's like, oh, well, I can't do anything and I can't experience any of the rides with my husband because the only way we can experience rides is doing child swap or kid swap or whatever they call
Hmm.
it, you know? So, like, I mean, I'm looking at like the height requirements now. It does seem like that there are like quite a bit more at 40 inches. Having said that, Nora just hit 40 inches this year. So for her first 3 years, for her to not be able to go on anything when Disney doesn't have a height requirement for majority of their rides, like that's tricky.
Well, because I'm trying to like think, I'm gonna try to go to this park, and I don't, within a year, within the first year
Hmm.
of opening. Don't know if it's gonna happen. I'd like to make it happen, but I don't think it would be like a full family of four trip my first time. Like, and so that's hard, like to say like, well, okay, who's gonna go? Like just me, my wife and I and my second grader, or nobody, because they're all gonna be like, you can't go unless we all go. So that's just a weird family conundrum that I guess I'm stuck in, that Melanie's kind of gonna be stuck in too.
I mean, it seems like Monsters Unchained, uh, and the Dragon Racers and Stardust Racers are the only things that you really can't go on, right? Those are all like 48 inches.
Yeah, yeah.
So Nora is 42 inches now. Um, but obviously, like with Bennett, like I can't go on
Hmm.
he
Well, and
can't go on
Melanie,
anything.
for the first probably year of this park, the queues are gonna be really long for
Yeah,
every
and
like
that
that
for
park's
little
gonna
kids
max out in
sucks also.
capacity for a long time. So
Hmm.
yeah, like bringing a kid that's gonna have to wait 2 hours to go on everything, like that's a different thing
Yeah,
too.
that's
Like
different. That's a
like
different, a whole different thing too.
yeah,
Yeah.
like Disney, you can convince your kid to wait for an hour and a half, like one or two times a day, but there's so many other things to supplement that you can just walk on to like make something happen. So yeah, it's interesting. We'll have to talk about it as a family. We'll have to have a family meeting.
Family meeting. Who's
Family
going?
meeting.
Who's
Family
not? Are we all
meeting.
going? Are we just not all going?
I want to go, but yeah, I can't go until I don't know if Alana and I could take like a solo weekend trip or something like that would be the only way I could. Eric, you want to come? Peter can come. We'll
Yes.
we'll grab Carly and we'll just have a
Let's have a
time.
party. An epic time. We're gonna have an
Oh
epic time.
man, how many times did you hear people around you
Oh,
making some sort of pun to epic?
all the
And
time. And it's never gonna end. Like
and I know, and
you're gonna
how fast did it get old though?
it's never got old.
Never got old? Okay, so
Because
that's good.
because it's like because it just is.
Yeah, okay,
Like
that
it's
makes
just
sense.
it's almost when you're there, it just is true. Like it's a pun, but it's a pun that you is tr accurate, true, and you appreciate. Like
I mean, I
it's
will say my favorite thing was like I was talking to like my family about like Epic being open for like media, whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, my friend Peter is there today. And all my family's in Florida. Like this was when I was down there also. I was like, yeah, my friend Peter was in Epic today. And my Uncle Bill was like, Epic? Hasn't Epic been open for like a really long time? What's so special about Epic? And I was like, Uncle Bill, no, it's the new Universal Park. It's opening up like in May. It's not open for a while. It's just
Epcot.
and he's like, no, Epic, with the big ball. And I was like, Uncle Bill, do you mean Epcot? And he was like,
Oh, I thought he was.
oh no, I guess I mean Epcot. I'm like, yeah, first of all, Epcot. Second of all,
No.
Disney. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
Uncle
I
Bill, I
thought he
think
was
you're a little
referring to like
confused.
the Epic like hospital operating system company in Madison,
No,
Wisconsin that has that insane campus for its employees, and they have like a Harry Potter
no, he got
building.
Epic and Epcot
And Epcot
confused.
mixed up.
Epcot.
That's funny. Well,
Well,
it's funny. Some of my friends they'll and when they hear um like oh I'm going to Florida or whatever, and going to Wizarding World, they always think that it's like in Disney World, like Wizarding World. It's like oh my gosh, no,
that's our
it's
that's our
not.
favorite. That's our favorite.
Thankfully, it's not in Disney World. I'm so thankful and grateful that Universal and J.K. Rowling partnered because ugh, the plans that Disney had for can you ugh, I can't.
That's
Let's
another.
not, let's not even go there.
That's another topic because I'd love to talk about that too.
It's like a
But
what if
Okay.
episode.
Yeah, there
that's a
exactly.
What if?
that's a Wake Peter episode that we can do.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
I got
am
a pack.
I'm gonna say on that note, this has been an epic discussion about an epic park and an epic adventure. I don't know. That's it.
That was great. I loved it.
Wow,
Loved
fantastic.
every moment of that
If
epic
Melanie
episode.
or Peter, Peter,
Yeah.
if people want more epic content about
Mhm.
this, what can they check out?
They can check out my video of my experience, which is a bit chaotic because, well, for one, it's like I'm learning about the park as I'm, vlogging. And it's like we're here, we're there, we're everywhere. But it was still a fun day, and just it makes for a fun vlog, honestly, I think. I would highly recommend checking out Molly's vlog. So Molly is Mammoth Club. So go to Mammoth Club on YouTube, watch her video. It was so inspiring to watch this woman, this content creator work. She has this list of research. She knows exactly what she's going to film. She knows exactly what to say. She's talking nonstop about tricks that she's heard about, or like how things were made. She like listens to podcasts like to get all this information. Her video is so detailed, so packed with content, like backstories of Celestial Park and how this was made, and the benches are carved out of wood in Isle of Burke, and it's from a concept art from the third movie, and they said send us a picture and we'll create that for the park. Like it's just all this really fun, detailed information. Her vlog is fantastic, so highly recommend her vlog for information about Epic. And then I'll be putting more videos out in the coming weeks as I'm going back. So I'm bringing everybody with me via video.
Can't wait. That sounds
you
like a
should-
really budget-friendly way of going.
You should establish like the last thing I'm going to do every time I go to that park is ride the carousel. I don't know, something like
Yeah.
I'm gonna end every one of my things here with
Yeah. This.
sitting on this bench.
This bench right here. And if someone's standing on there, you got to kick them off and say,
wait.
I have to end this video with this bench.
Because really, like this is the beginning of you going there a lot of times. So you could
Yeah.
you could come up with something and start something for yourself that makes it
Very
kind
true.
of a giggle moment.
Someone on Instagram messaged me and said, I was disappointed not to see the windmill on fire in Dark Universe, and you yelling at it saying, "Well done, windmill." So
I know you have
that's
to come
in
up
the
with
back of my mind,
something.
and it's gonna happen. So when we see the windmill in a video, expect that exclamation.
Yes.
Got to do something.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing, Peter. It has been absolutely epic having
This
you
was
on,
very
talking about
epic being
Epic
here.
Universe with us.
I loved talking about it with you guys.
Yeah, we can't wait to hear more of your adventures. Especially stay tuned because we're gonna have you on to talk all about Harry Potter Chicago. Like, I
Yeah,
can't wait
it's
to hear about
crazy.
that also.
So excited to see it.
Yeah, that sounds great. So, for today, it is now time to walk back through the archway and into our daily lives, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
See you.
Epic.